So I have been looking for a video in order to change out my spark plugs on my 2014 Ram 1500. And it's a 6-cylinder, and I could not find anything. The one on the left bank right here, 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. They're fairly easy. Right now I got these hoses kind of all over, but they're fairly easy to get to. So, but I couldn't find a video on this particular engine on how to take off that manifold, the exhaust manifold. So I took, I watched a couple of them and kind of took their advice and input in mind when I was trying to figure out how many screws and bolts and so on, brackets were holding this on. So just for your information, there are 4 screws on the bottom, and there's one in the back here. You can't really see it but right now, but it's back there, trust me. Then there's 3 up here on the top section. So I've already taken them off. I'm getting ready to put it back on, so that's why I'm putting them back in there. Advice from one guy was to make sure they're raised all the way before you put this back on so you don't damage anything. So take those off. There is a bracket over here just at the throttle body here, and I decided to take them off from up here because there's a couple of bolts way down in there that hard to see. Anyways, there's one, and there's another one on the other side of it. You can barely see it over there. I couldn't really get to those, so I decided to take these 2 off in hopes that once I got the manifold loose, I'd be able to shimmy it out, and I was able to. Then there's also a bracket back here. This bracket right there. Again, there's just a couple of, I don't know what you call it, but a couple of studs sticking out of this manifold that fit in there. And down below, you got 2 13mm screws where this attaches to. 2 of my fingers pointing there. One on this side, one on the other side of the bracket over there. So I took those 2 off. And aside from that, a few hoses. This is the back of the manifold. Connector here, I got to plug back in. Anyways, I'll get to it in a minute. It's kind of stuck back there now. There it is. So plug that back in. Still have to bolt it down and everything. So I took off this grommet here. That was pretty easy, just lifts off. But then it was still kind of stuck, so I decided to unscrew this big connector here. Had a couple of, I think it was 10mm screws holding that in place. So I'll put that back here in a second, but first I'm going to tighten down the manifold. And so once I was able to take that off, I basically, the easiest thing, because you got so many connectors right here, I just took it off, shimmied it off to the side, and brought it back to the front and just kind of laid it over here on this side so I could, you know, have access to it so everything would be out of the way. While I was at it, I decided to go ahead and change the manifold gaskets. They're perfectly good. I didn't know, so I was in there, so I decided to go ahead and do it. I got the other thing I'm going to do real quick is here's the oil filter. I'm going to change that. I got the extended interval oil, so it's time to change out that filter as well. Again, that's very easy now that I've got everything out of the way, so I'm going to do that right now. And then just plug in these 2 hoses on the left side of the manifold right here. But again, I'll wait until I get the filter changed out. So it's easy, but first I'm going to bolt out the manifold and we'll be done. Thanks for watching.